What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the RTG career mode. It's episode number 17. It's a brand new season as our third year at the Swansea.com stadium gets underway today, and our second year in the Premier League as well. Just real briefly on the screen right now, you'll see I've agreed free loans for our youth players. These will be going through at the start of the new season, and as the new season does begin, season 3 and our second year in the Premier League. That's less than last year! What? How? That's physically not allowed in this capacity. What? How? That's why. Alright, look, let me get to that in a minute, okay? Because that's 29 million. For a Premier League team, that's not a lot. That's not a lot, especially considering we need to reinvest after last season's abysmal finish. But what we will do to start off with, as always, is send our youth scouts out first. And once again, guys, I want to say thank you so much for all the comments, man. I appreciate it as always. When I asked you guys with the hashtag #DocsYouthScouting to let me know where we should be going, once again, I had some brilliant country suggestions and some fantastic reasons as well. Of course, I always keep one scout in the nation we're currently based in, and this season we're going to do things a little bit differently with this scout. And again, this is my choice. The other two are yours, but we need some defensive players because obviously we've got such a top-heavy academy, but very few options in the back line. So I'm going to be asking for a defence-minded youth players from Wales. That'll be my choice. And the comments, once again, guys, are absolutely fantastic. I can't say thank you enough, man. Seriously, the comments on this save have been brilliant, and the suggestions for transfers, as well as countries we scout, have also been fantastic. So, guys, I really appreciate it. I saw some brilliant suggestions for all over the world, every single continent, really. But one that really stood out to me, I saw a few comments for this country here, and that is Greece. Now, Greece, of course, won the Euros way back in the early 2000s. One of the best international Cinderella stories we'd ever seen due to a defensive masterclass kind of tournament from Greece. And I got loads of comments and loads of thumbs up from you guys saying they had a wall in the defense like back in 2004 when they won the Euros as well. So it actually makes a lot of sense. And it's true, we've barely scouted Greece before. And actually, I don't think I've ever scouted Greece before. Ever. I'm not sure I've ever scouted Greece in all of the years I've been doing CM. I probably have once, but I can't remember when. But we're going to go to Greece for this year, looking for those defence-based players that helped to win the Euros back in 2004. So Greece will be our first country. And as for the third and final scout, once again, guys, I can only pick 3, but some brilliant comments as always, and I really appreciate the great suggestions. But we're going to stay in Europe once again for our third scout, because I saw quite a few comments for this nation, which, despite being a talent factory, I rarely ever scout, and that is the Netherlands. And of course, Swansea have had a few players from the Netherlands in their prime, such as Jonathan de Guzman and Leroy Fer as well. And I saw quite a few comments for the Netherlands as well, which I thought would be a great option because, despite being, again, quite a big footballing nation and a real talent factory as well, I've rarely scouted them either. Another nation with tons of great talent, which I've barely ever been to in all the years I've been doing CM. So those were the 3 nations, guys. I appreciate the comments as always. Fantastic suggestions once again. And even if I didn't pick your nation this time around, don't get discouraged because there's always next year, as I'll continue to come to you guys as my chief youth scout. So it's Wales, Greece and the Netherlands for this season upcoming. And so as those 4 youngsters leave on loan, let's take a look at the official team for the new season then. Obviously we know that Karras is going to go after submitting a transfer request. I'm going to add Nathan Bruce to the transfer list directly afterwards as well. We've got 2 of our young goalkeepers out on loan then. Tymon's contract coming at the end of the year, now 26 years old, 72 rated. He's been a solid little left back for us and a backup now to Jordan Boz, but not getting any better. I think I might add him to the transfer list as well and look for a new left back. So I do have a couple of targets to compete with Jordan for that starting spot. You know, again, it's not a disastrously bad team, but it definitely does need a lot more quality, no doubt about that. I mean, I would say personally that the lack of quality and depth is also a concern as well. When you go outside of our first 11, you got bench players that are like barely scraping 70 overall, 71 overall, and in the Premier League, that's just not enough, especially if you want to have a good cup run as well in either the FA or the league. How? It was brilliant last season. How has he lost all of his potential? I don't understand this game sometimes, I really don't. He was brilliant in the Premier League last year. How has he lost all of his potential? That's crazy, man. But it goes to show you just how important it is to have a player play practically every single game. Otherwise, EA assume they're nowhere near good enough. But that's crazy, man. He played the vast majority of our games last year. That is so frustrating. But yeah, for the new season, with 29 mil, it's going to be a tough transfer window, this, man. So I've got a ton of transfer targets from you guys, but if you got any more, feel free to leave them in the comments. Any bargain buys you can think of, do let me know. And so 4 new signings this season. I did say I'd like a new winger, and one player I've seen in the comments quite a lot is an ex-Swansea winger as well, and that's Morgan Whittaker, who left to join Plymouth on a permanent deal for the start of this season, and he's been brilliant in the Championship, averaging, I think, a goal every 2 games. And for a newly promoted side, that's very impressive indeed. And we know all about the lack of goals last season, so that makes a lot of sense for us as well. I saw him in the comments a lot, ex-Swansea player and available on a cheap deal as well. This makes total sense. Appreciate the suggestions. So yeah, should be able to get him for, I'd say, under the valuation. And yes, indeed. Well, there's basically no tension at all there, so I'm not even going to bother going even a penny higher, because clearly Plymouth know with his deal that coming at the end of the year, they're going to have to cash in. And so for 3.3 mil under market valuation to buy him back for Swansea a couple years later, this is a really smart bit of business, this. A 5-year deal on £24,000 a week, so quite an increase in terms of his weekly wage, but for 3.3 mil, this is an absolute steal for a former Swan who returns to South Wales. Yes, Morgan Whittaker, who's been balling out in Devon in the Championship, now returning to South Wales here at Swansea, and this is exactly what we were looking for, a good value for money deal, and this is probably one of the best we could have picked up. Welcome back to the Swansea.com Stadium, Morgan Whittaker. I feel like I'm Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill in Moneyball right now, man, because this is exactly what we need to do. Look for those players that are available on really, really cheap deals and will give us solid value for money. Morgan Whittaker is that to a T. Absolutely buzzing with this. Thank you for the comments as always. This guy recommended so heavily, and I'm glad to finally get him. And so already that, alongside our scouting missions for this year, has put our budget down to 23 million. And again, with wage budget considerations, it's more like 22. It's already off to a tough start. But you know what? This is one of the reasons I'm enjoying this CM, man, because it has been a very tough one thus far. I know you guys like to watch me struggle quite a bit as well. So looking at the team right now, obviously we know that Tyman's probably going to go, Key is going to go. So we're going to need 2 new fullbacks, one on either side, I would say. And I wouldn't mind a better backup striker for Cam, because Cam really was our only source of goals last year. Karras is going to go. We don't need to worry about spending a transfer fee on a backup goalkeeper. Let's advance a few days in the calendar, wait for some bids, and then assess what we'll do after that. And funnily enough, straight away, we have got 2 bids here. One loan offer for Charlie Connick, Leeds, who just survived last year. 72 overall. I wasn't sure whether I'd give this guy some minutes this season or try and loan him out again, because the loans have seen this guy shoot up rapidly. But obviously now we just brought in Whittaker, we still got James, still got Ginley, we'd like to play Jamal on the wing as well. I think personally, keeping this guy out on loan for now is the best strategy, really. And whilst Leeds did survive last year, I could see him still getting some game time there at Ellen Road. So we'll agree a 1-year loan deal with Leeds, and Rangers wanted to take Karras, which to be fair, I'm totally fine to accepting a 1.3 mil market valuation deal off the bat. We're not going to be able to raise much money for our players on the transfer list. Key, Tyman, Karras, they're not going to get us much, but even if it does just get the salary off the books, that's the most important thing, especially for players that don't want to be here and don't really have enough quality to improve upon either. Dundee putting in a bid for our third choice goalkeeper, Nathan Broom. So again, won't get much money. We'll take what we can from the Scottish side. And I think that Karius deal is about to go through, and there it is. So Karius is off. We'll see if he's chose Rangers or Southampton in a moment. But just a 1 year here, but that was always the plan anyway. And we'll send him for a very small transfer fee. And again, I don't want to spend money on players that are barely going to play. So we will need a backup goalkeeper, but I'm going to be looking for loans or freebies in that position. And I've just found a guy I want as well. This is perfect too. Released by the Foxes, Danny Ward, full Welsh international, of course. Wales is #1 on occasion as well. And yeah, I'd definitely say him as a vet, as a replacement for Karius. This is perfect. A 2-year deal on 15 grand a week. And whilst I didn't have a full scout report on the guy, I knew he wouldn't be any lower than 70 or 71 overall, which is going to be more than good enough to be a backup goalkeeper. And that's exactly what he is. 73 overall, 32 years old. Welcome to Swansea for the first time. Danny Ward, full Wales international, Welsh Academy graduate, and the new mentor for Mr. Carl Rushworth. So yeah, just here as a backup. He might play 1 or 2 cut games this season, but that's all we really want him to be. Just a solid pair of hands for the bench. Danny is in. And directly afterwards, we do see 2 loan agreements for our 2 academy wingers, Charlie Connick and also Leo as well. I'd rather have Connick playing in the Championship, but I know you guys are the same as me. I do find it hard to loan players to Football League sides. To be fair, we do have time. And I want to make sure this guy does get enough game time. At Leeds to the Premier League, so I'm not sure. So actually, I'm going to pull back on that one there and try and get him to a Challenger side if possible. But for Leo going to the MLS, I'd be totally fine with that for our young Finnish winger. I said before, like, I wish you could have feeder clubs in FIFA Career Mode. It'll make loaning players so much easier. And there is one for Josh Cotterill, which we'll accept straight away. Oh, who came up, by the way, to the Premier League? Watford. Luton, and was it Brentford? I bet it was. Yeah, Watford, Luton and Brentford back in the top tier. Sorry, I totally forgot to show the league tables for the Football League last season. But yeah, the 3 newly promoted teams for this year, by the way, are Watford, Luton, and also the Bees, Brentford as well. Kind of annoying on Brentford because I had a couple of their players so I wanted to sign. Okay, oh wow, hold on a second. No, that's definitely not going to be happening then. Oh, I thought that was going to be like a big bid from a massive Premier League side. But Deportivo Alaves putting in the bid? No. Carl last year was top 3 in clean sheets, so I was expecting like a big bid from like a... I don't know, maybe like a Chelsea or possibly a Manchester United, but instead I'm going to actually block the offers there because Carl has been our number 1 since the save began. I don't want him to go anywhere. Now, of course, there are a lot of players from relegated sides from last season I wouldn't mind picking up, and Wolves had some brilliant players. Obviously, Michael Elise, who moved on from Palace, but of course now a little bit out of our price range. Matthias Cunha as well. I was thinking maybe he's an inside forward on the left-hand side, if not giving Cam a go. Competition up top as well, and Pedro Neto as well. So there were quite a few players I was thinking, you know, with Wolves going down, I wouldn't mind snapping up, but we don't have the money for them. But to be fair, whilst we don't really have the money, and we are going to continue to look for those free agent players as well. Look at this guy, my scouts just found me. I don't know anything about this guy. With 86 to 96 stamina, 80 to 90 aggression, and some decent defensive stats with high work rates as well. Well, this is my sort of player. I know I've got a lot of Nigerian fans who follow me as well, so I'm going to pick this guy up. So I've just done a quick Google and seen that this guy was originally playing in the Swedish League before moving on to the Belgian Pro League, but is now just being released by Royal Antwerp. So anyone that follows the Swedish or Belgian leagues or follows Nigerian football, do let me know what this guy is like. But to me, he looks like a great pickup on a free transfer. And the new Marchetti viewer, welcome to Swansea, Al Hassan Yousaf, 24-year-old defensive midfielder, 75 overall and still getting better as well. I definitely could see this guy playing further forward or even possibly playing as a right back. He's got a bit of pace, he can dribble, he can defend really well too. Yeah, I could definitely see this guy possibly being converted into a right back in this team, if not staying where he is right now as a DM. Very well balanced stats, I'd say, all across the board. Yeah, any knowledge on this guy? If you've seen this guy play, do let me know what he's like in the comments. But to me, he looks really solid. And we do have a bid for Rodden from Bournemouth, who were obviously relegated last season. So naturally, we're going to turn that one down and block the offers as well. Joe is going nowhere. But the Baggies putting in a bid for Josh Key, and I'm actually alright accepting that. It's just over market valuation, but out of contract coming the end of the season. It was pretty solid in Season 1, to be fair. Competing for game time with Harrison Ashby, who was on loan. But since Ethan Laird's come in, Laird's been brilliant. So for Key, I'm totally fine letting him go to the Championship and playing at the Hawthorns there with the Baggies. Or possibly Middlesbrough. Similar bid, and we'll accept that one there from Michael Carrick as well. And so there we go. 2 quick sales in the end, as Josh Key is going to West Bromwich Albion for 1.25 million. So we'll take that for the right back in the final year of his contract. And Cotterill has also gone to Cracovia as well for £440,000. So selling those players in the final years of their contract, like I said, we're not going to raise much money for those sort of players. So don't expect us to be coming in with like an extra like 7 or 8 million per player. Obviously not. They're incredibly small transfer fees, but they raise our budget ever so slightly, and get the salaries off the book. So back up to 24 mil. So still a little bit of money to work with here. And as we see another couple of departures here, Chemo Leo leaving on loan to St. Louis. So we'll keep an eye on him in there in the MLS. And Nathan Vroom also going to Dundee in Scotland for a nominal transfer fee as well. There is a bid here for Josh Tymon. I did say with Tymon I probably would sell, now in his mid-20s. I think he gave us 2 really solid years here, to be fair. But since Jordan Boz, the Aussie, has come in, he's looked really, really good. With 5 clean sheets in 15 and 3 assists last year as well. Tymon's now lost his place, and I think it's time for him to go and leave permanently as well. I like the bid as well. Celtic for 2.1 mil, slightly above market valuation. I'll take that. And as that deal goes through, we'll take the 2.1 mil for Josh. A couple of years of really good service for us, to be fair. But again, with Boz coming in, he was never going to retake his place. We're now looking quite light at fullback. Only the 1 left back, only the 1 right back. And yes, we've got players who can fill in there. But I do think we definitely need to sign at least 1 on either side before this window slams shut. And there is a bid for Kuharevich as well, the Ukrainian, who got a couple of minutes in the Championship, but now just not quite Premier League quality, and certainly not going to outmuscle Cameron Archer as well. I'm totally fine if he wants to go in the final year of his contract as well. And as my Cola does indeed go, we'll take the small amount of money and add it to the budget as another bid comes in for Charlie Connick on loan, this time from SC Braga. I don't actually mind this one, to be fair. I think he'd get more game time there than he would at a Premier League Leeds United now. So, to be fair, I don't mind him going out into Portugal. Seen quite a few British players leave to Portugal in recent years. Marcus Edwards, Angel Gomez. Funny enough, Josh Tymon spent a year out on loan with Famalicão, so I'm alright with that one there. And I think I'm going to make one more signing and then leave it there today. And it's a player that I've seen commented so many times since the save began. Rabbi Matondo, on the books of Cardiff City, Swansea's rivals, for leaving to Manchester City. And he's had a really strange career path, the English-born Welsh international. Moving on to Germany with Schalke, then going to Rangers as well. He's never really quite got settled, but maybe he will back in South Wales at Cardiff's rivals. I've seen him commented so many times, and to me, he looks like an Elliot List 2.0, an upgrade on List. Rapid player with shot power, can play on the wings and up top as well, and should be available on a market valuation deal. £3 million from Spezia is what we offer. £3 million is what's accepted. Rabbi Matondo, we're bringing him back from Italy to South Wales, and this time to Swansea City, sorry. A 5-year deal on 15 grand a week, and whilst it's safe to say this guy will probably never hit the potential he seemed to have in his earlier years, he's still got one last chance, and he's got it back in South Wales, this time with Cardiff's rival Swansea. I saw this guy commented a lot, so hopefully you're glad I brought him in. Welcome to Swansea.com Stadium, Rabbi Matondo. And again, when you look at this guy's stats here, to me, he just does look very similar to the type of player that Elliot List is. The sort of player that is rapid, but doesn't really have that much in the way of technical ability. Matondo looks incredibly similar. The pace speaks for itself. Great agility, good balance as well. Technically slightly better than Listo, and that's why I call him like an Elliot List 2.0, if you will. This guy's not going to start many games for me. He won't start that many, but coming off the bench in those late game situations, that's all we did with Elliot List, man, to run at those tired legs in the Championship. That's what Matondo will be for me in the Premier League. Our Elliot List 2.0, a pure impact sub with pace. And as we do agree, the 1-year loan deal for Charlie Connick, he's off to Braga, so we'll keep an eye on him there in Portugal. I think we'll leave it there for today's episode, guys, so big thank you for watching the season opener. If you have enjoyed it, then please do drop a like. 4 new signings for the Swansea team. We're playing Moneyball right now with a low transfer budget, but I'm liking how it's looking right now. Yes, the first 11 remains the same, but a little bit more quality and depth, which is what we were looking for with the arrivals of Danny Ward, Yusuf, Whittaker, and also Matondo as well. But any more transfer targets, guys, do keep them in the comment section down below, because definitely we still need a lot more depth for sure, with very little money remaining. any bargain buyers you can think of, do let me know in the comment section down below. I still need your help with these transfer targets, man, as we continue to build this Swansea City team on a low transfer budget. Have a great day, much love, and I will see you for the next episode of the RTG career mode very soon.